Hey friends, Kim from stampingimperfection.com. Thank you so much for joining me. While you're here, make sure you subscribe and click the bell to get notifications every time I upload a new video. I want to make this video today because I've been getting a lot of questions about what do I look for when I select stamps. And I look for many things. I love to have images and I love to have sentiments in my stamp sets. And I often will buy it because there's an image or sentiment that I love that I don't have anything like that in my stash. So there are three different kinds of image stamp sets that I want to talk about today. And if you are a new stamper, I think the answer to how do I know what to look for is very different than if you are intermediate or advanced. So there are solid stamps, outline stamps, then there are what I consider hybrid stamps, and then sentiment stamps. I'll talk about sentiment some other time. This is an outline stamp, and I'll talk about these in a little while. But when you stamp that, you're just getting the outline and a few little details. You're not getting any color in the image. Now, I'm starting out with solid stamps. This is Catherine Pooler's You've Got Flowers stamp set. And I'm going to be using Catherine Pooler's acrylic blocks because you need the acrylic blocks to stamp on, to put your stamps on in order to actually do anything. So one of the things you do when you're using these solid stamps, you want to condition them. If you don't, you get really blotchy images. So the first time you use them, and you really only need to do this the first time you use it, this is how I do it. I take a polymer eraser. Petals sells these with those mechanical pencils, and I just rub it across. I'm not pushing down. You can rub it on your shirt or your jeans. You can stamp it several times on scrap paper, but the best results I get are when I use this polymer eraser, and look at that. Huge difference. It's perfect. And that was very quick, but you'll see it again here. So this is a solid image. It's really inked up beautifully. A little too beautifully. I just re-inked my stamp sets and they're super juicy. I think I overdid it. I'm using some Catherine Pooler inks here. These are one of my favorite inks. I just love them. Look how bold and beautiful these are. And with the solid image stamps, to get that color on the paper, all I have to do is use a stamp. I'm just stamping it on the paper and I'm getting these beautiful images and these bold colors. You know, I could get soft colors if I was using, some of Catherine Pooler's softer colors. And it doesn't, use your favorite inks. We all have our favorite things and it's very personal, but I'm now going to add the sentiment. I'm going to use her Midnight ink. So I've used Be Mine, which is pink, Limoncello yellow, Mardi Gras is the green, Grape crushes the purple, and this is the Midnight ink. The Midnight ink is the only pigment ink she has. The rest are all dye-based inks. But you get a quick and easy, beautiful card. All the color goes right on the paper. I don't have to do anything fancy. And when I'm done, I can just wipe off the stamps with a wet paper towel. I'm using an alcohol-free baby wipe because I don't have a sink anywhere near me and I often forget to bring a wet paper towel down. And it doesn't stay wet anyway because it's pretty humid in my basement. So the baby wipes work well for me. And Catherine Pooler said all you have to do is wipe it off with a wet paper towel. You don't have to have anything fancy. And she said that's all you have to do. Now you will notice that the inks do stain the stamps. I never worry about that because I still get beautiful stamped images. Even though they're stained, it's not going to affect how you stamp them. And I store them in those plastic sleeves, which I get from MFT Stamps or Avery L. I really like those. These are the large size, believe it or not. I also just got that Halloween pumpkin kit and again, a solid image stamp, quick and easy card. Made a few too many splatters there, but it was done in less than 5 minutes. Now I have these outline stamps from Altenew, and the flower is the Statement Flowers. That's a gorgeous one. And the other one is called Be Strong. And these outline images, when you stamp them, you just get the outline. and whatever detail the artist put in when they designed the stamp. You can leave it like that, and you can make a fabulous background or do something quick and easy on the background, like a watercolor wash or a little shading, or just stamp your sentiment. I've got some cards to share at the end of this video, but I used the Altenew Obsidian Pigment Ink because I knew I wanted to just show you these Altenew markers. Altenew, I did not jump on the marker bandwagon, the alcohol marker bandwagon at first, because they're so expensive and there's so many, and how do I know what to choose? Altenew took the guesswork out of that when they created these markers. They sell them in sets of 12. The one I'm using is set A. It's got 3 greens, 4 reds, 4 blues, and a black. And you notice I took the darkest marker and I put it a little along the top, a little along the bottom, and along the right hand side of each of these images. And then I'm taking the medium one and I'm going over the darkest color, and then I'm kind of just widening out my coloring. And then I'll take the lightest color and go over my medium color and then just fill the rest in. And I get a shaded image. And since I did them all on the same side, I sort of paid attention to light source, but I didn't stress about it. It doesn't have to be stressful to color things in. People have all these videos about the crazy stuff with coloring and light. They always start with the light and the shading, and have fun. Just have fun with it. And I did the same thing here, except I used 4 shades. I'm just using the lightest one to fill in that dirt because I wanted to use set A, and it doesn't have any grays or browns. Now they have 60 markers altogether, all sold in sets of 12, and you can get greens and browns and oranges and yellows and purples and more blues and more reds and pinks in the other sets. So they're fantastic. And they do sell all 60 together, and I'm taking a little bit of gray from set E just to give it a little shadow, and I'm just showing you a watercolor card I made. I did not design that card. I did one of the virtual workshops with Altenew for some human contact, and they designed it, but you can watercolor them too. And a bigger image like that statement flower I just showed you is going to require a bit more technique, but you still don't have to stress over it. Do it exactly the way I just did it. Like, have fun with it. You don't have to have an art degree to make a pretty card and to have some shadowing or shading and light and dark spots. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Forget the light source. Simple sentiment, and that card is done. These are all clean and simple cards. Now, I also do want to point out that both Altenew and Catherine Pooler's stamps are made in the USA. I know that's important, so I wanted to point that out. Now, here's what I consider to be a hybrid stamp set. It's a cross between the solid stamps and the outline stamps. It's actually a layering stamp set. And this is the first time I'm using this one, so I'm doing the conditioning. I condition even the outline stamps now out of habit. And I'm going to start, because what I like about these is I can just stamp that outline image. I can just stamp that bold image, or I can layer the two together to get a really great, to get a really great look. So I'm going to pull out a light purple color. This is called Pixie Dust. And I'm going to use the dark color for the outline image. So I could stamp that outline image and leave it just like that. Or I could color that in if I wanted to. Like, whatever. I could stamp it in black and color it in with my markers. Now that Midnight Black ink of Catherine Pooler's can be used for watercoloring and alcohol markers, but you do need to give it time to dry. Now I'm taking the solid color in a lighter color and stamping that, and I get this really pretty image. It's got detail. If I stamped the outline in black and used that purple, I would get a really pretty image. I just really like it that way. Now, I could leave that solid stamp just the way it is. I'm going to put a darker yellow on, which doesn't quite show up. So I'm going to grab a I'm going to grab like an orange, and I grabbed a light orange because I didn't want like a striking color, but I do have to say black is also beautiful. I didn't line it up perfectly. Does not matter. Doesn't matter. Nobody's going to be looking at that except my sister. She's really a perfectionist. So for the next one, I'm going to use that Be Mine, and I need a darker color for the outline image, so I'm going to use that Grape Crush. And again, I could have used black, I could have used red, I could have used anything darker. Look how pretty that is. Now on Catherine Pooler puts a lot of thought into adding a lot of smaller little stamps that you can use just to add some detail or some interest in the background, and I love that. There are like 5 smaller stamps that you could use on this stamp set, and I really like that she does that. And she's always got some great sentiments. I believe in you. Who doesn't want that card? So I just stamped that in black, and that card is done. I love it. Now here you'll see, I wanted to share with you some cards where I used an outline stamp and just didn't put any color. I focused color on the background, or just putting a little color on the inside of those petals. I just wanted you to see that if you like the outline ones, but you don't want to spend all the time coloring in and worrying about details, you can do some really simple background techniques that will allow you to get color onto those images. And I have a video called Technique a Week, and it's week 1, that shows you exactly how to create these 4 cards. Thank you so much for watching. I'll put all the links below. Please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click the bell so you get notifications every time I upload a new video. And check out my blog for more tips, tricks, and ideas at stampingimperfection.com. Thank you for stopping by.